Hello guys, if you like my awesome gaming videos, my programming and web development courses, my editing courses and editing videos, and my tech talks and tech guidance, then you can consider subscribing to my channel and click on this bell icon to stay connected with me all the time. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to show you how you can implement the stack data structure in JavaScript in a custom way. Okay, so stack, queues, trees, linked list, all will be covered in this total video playlist. As you can see, I have the linked list, I have the linear search, this is for the algorithms and data structure course, and the merge sort to sort something. So in this total playlist of data structures and algorithm, you're going to understand a lot of topics which is very important for binary search too, as you can see, and their total custom implementation, how you can work with this, and insertion sort, linear search, linked list, how you can work with the linked list, which is a very complicated data structure for many people. We're going to work with the inbuilt JavaScript map data structure, and we're going to work with searching, sorting as well in the later part. And we're going to work today with the stack.js. As you can see, we have implemented all the logics so that I can make you understand properly how it is working. Okay, I have already researched on that, which is the best way to teach you, and now I'm going to start this with you guys. Stack is actually a thing that as you can see, it takes a maximum size of which kind of stack you want, and it has a property called top, which is by default -1 when you don't have any item in the stack. And you have a stack which you can implement, we can add and push some important data to the stack so that you can work with this data structure. So that is the main reason we want to build a good applications. You need to understand data structure very perfectly and with properly, and if you use JavaScript here, you can understand it properly, because JavaScript is very useful for web development, for any mobile application development. Also, in many cases, JavaScript is very important. If you understand the JavaScript with the data structure properly, you can build a lot of amazing content and a lot of amazing things or projects. Okay, so let's start this course by building a folder called YouTube practice. Okay, and in this YouTube practice folder, I'm gonna make stack.js, and here I'm gonna create a console.log. Here I'm gonna say this should be tutorial. This should be a structure with stack. Okay, we're gonna work with its complexity analysis. We're gonna work how to we're gonna understand we're gonna understand the complexity analysis, and also very importantly, we're gonna work with the push method and the pop method, empty method, and peak method, which returns the peak element of the stack. And we're going to work with the size, which gives us the size of the stack, and also searching. Okay, we're going to work with two types of searching. One is normal search, and another is a optimized search. Okay, or you can say search. Okay, and finally we need to have a print so that we can see the data structure as a printed format. Okay, normally I like the object oriented way, so let's do this. Okay, so class stack, and we say the curly bracket, and we have to use constructor, and in the constructor let's give it max size of 50 by default. And here we have to define some property. So this dot max size is equals to max size. You can give it any size in the definition, and we need to work with this dot top. This is another property that is takes by default it is -1 when it is empty. Okay, suppose you don't have anything, you have just normal empty array. Okay, you don't have anything. Okay, so it means that if it is empty, then it should be top is equals to -1. Okay, it defines that. And then we need one more property, this dot stack. Suppose I call it stack and keep it empty. In JavaScript you can normally use empty array. Okay, so this stack property is empty array. Okay, and this property is defined as -1. Okay, this is a numeric variable, and this is array. Okay, later we're gonna work with this array a lot more. Okay, so first function is push method to push some information into our stack. So let's do this. So before that, let me build a stack here. So this is a stack. Suppose here we need to put some value, suppose 5. Okay, so let's do this. So push, here we need to use a parameter. We're gonna put a value so that we can push it into our stack, and as you can see, we have to check if it is empty. Okay, if we have empty, so if you want to push something in your stack, you have to check if you have some space. Suppose we have space like this is the 0 index, this is 1 index, this is 2 index, okay, and this is 3 index. If all of them are fulfilled, suppose we have 5, we have 10, we have 15, we have 20, all of them are fulfilled, then there is no space. We can't push any data because we are out of our limit. Okay, so in that case we can't do anything. So we have to check that condition. So we have to check this dot top is greater than this dot max size, which is 50. If this top element index is greater than our max size, okay, -1, then we can't do anything. Console.log, we have to write stack overflown. Okay, we can't put any data if we reach the top of the element. As you can see, we reach the limit. It can hold only 4 information. So it is going, this dot top value is going to be bigger than the maximum size. Okay, here, suppose if I keep it 4, that we cannot add more than 4 information. Okay, so this is the meaning of that. So if the top is greater than the maximum size of this stack, then we cannot put any element. Else we can easily put some information. So how can put some information? This dot stack, this is the data structure, this is the array that we have defined, empty array. In this empty array we can push some value. This is the normal JavaScript inbuilt function to push something. As we are using the JavaScript to implement this stack, we can definitely use this thing. This is a very simple thing. Okay, so if I make it bigger, you can just put this information, this value. Okay, suppose we have put this 5. Okay, we have pushed this 5. Okay, this is done. Now our top should be incremented by 1. Top, previously it was -1. Now it should be incremented with 1, which is equals to 0. Okay, previously top is equals to -1. Now I have added 5, so it goes to 0. Then it will go to 1. If I add one more, then it will go to 2 if I add one more value. So these are the values. These are the values that we have put, and these are the indexes. These are the indexes. Okay, so this is the logic here. Top should be incremented ++. Okay, so this is done perfectly. Now we have to check if it is working or not. We have to call another method called print, so that we can print the result. And console.log stack, this dot stack, make sure it is this dot stack. Okay, and we have to call const stack object is equals to new stack, and give it a maximum size of 50. Okay, so this is the size that it takes as a constructor parameter. As you can see, it takes. Now if I just call stack object dot push, first we have to push 5, then stack object dot push 10, and stack object dot push 15. So first I have put 5, then 10 and 15, then stack object dot push, and then 20. Okay, so the 4 elements 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 elements I have added. Our maximum size is 50. We can go up to 50. Okay, so I have checked this logic. If it is going below, if it is going above the limit of the 50, we can add only 50 items in this stack. As you can see, this is the limit. If you just call it 100, then you can easily go past 100. You can push them, and then you can just print this so that you can see the result. And all of those things, 5, 10, 15, 20 would be added to this stack.push value. Okay, as it takes this parameter stack.push, and it will take one more parameter, and you can print this out. So let's check it out. We have to go to back. We are in the practice. We need to go one more, and then we need to go to cd YouTube practice folder. Okay, And here we need to call, make sure you have the node.js installed to run this node stack.js. Nice. We see 5, 10, 15 and 20, and push normally adds the element in the last index, in the last position. First it will take 5, then it will go 10, then it will add 15, then it will add 20. Okay, so it will append 5, 10, 15 and 20. And when you pop something, this 20 would be pop first, then 15, then 10, then 5. Okay, so the last in is 20, it would be popped first for this stack. So this is the logic. Now we need to work with our pop. We already pushed the information to the stack. Now we need to pop something. So let me make it smaller so that you can see perfectly. And let's implement the pop functionality. So function pop, it doesn't take any parameter. So this is quite simple. So if we want to work with the pop, let me do this. So to pop out some information, let me clear this out and get a new one. Okay. Let me build one more stack. So to pop some information, what we can do, suppose I need to build 5, then 10, then 15, then 20. So this is our stack, okay? 5, 10, 15 and 20. We need to pop this 20 first. So we have to check if we have some element to pop. If there is no element, our top is equals to -1. Then how we can pop element if there is nothing? This can't be empty. This stack can't be empty. So we have to check that logic. What should be the logic? If this dot top is greater than -1, it means it is not empty. Okay, if the top, this top value, okay, is equals to -1, okay, this top is not is equals to -1, or you can say the top is greater than -1, okay, only then you can pop something from it. Okay, so const last index is equals to this dot stack, which is a simple array data structure. As you can see, we can do all the logic like push, pop, all of the things. And if you want to access this top element, you have to go this dot stack. This is an array. You need to access some information. To access some information, you need to use this square bracket, this dot stack, and go to this dot top. Okay, we just go to the top position here. This is actually the stack and top. Okay, so this is the top element. This should be the popped first. Okay, this should be popped first. So we get the element last index. Okay, and this up. So what we can do, this dot stack dot pop, as we are using the JavaScript pop functionality, it will pop the information from the last point in last position. As you can see, we have added the 20 in the last time. We have added the 20 at the last. As you can see, also we have added the 20 at the last, so it should be popped out in the first. So it maintains LIFO, last in first out. Okay, so let's implement that. And if you just pop some information from it, you need to decrement the top. Okay, it should go this dot top minus minus. So in case of push, you need to increment the top because you're increasing the value in the stack. First 0, then 1, then 2, then 3 and 4. And for the pop, you need to decrement 1 to -0 to -1, 1 0 -1. These are the thing. Okay, we have to pop this element out. Okay, and we have to return that as well. Return our last index because it's the top index element in the stack. This is the top element. As you can see, the 20 is the top element in the beginning. It should be popped first, and we have to return this. Okay, each time the top is greater than -1. When the top is greater than -1, you can only perform these operations. Else console.log no items in the stack. Okay, so this is the logic. So let me understand it first. If the top is greater than -1, it means there is some element. Only then you can access the you can go to the stack data structure and get its first or topmost element, okay, and store that value into the last index so that we can return that. And then you have to pop this element stack this dot stack dot pop, and you have to decrement this top to -1 because we are just popping out some elements, so we need to decrement the top now. So this is very important logic, and you have to return the last index so that we can see the value which is the element we popped out, okay. So this is very important. Import that thing stack object dot pop. We have to pop some element, so we have to copy this print first, and after popping you have to do this again, okay. So this is very important. So let me check it out. Okay, this looks far better. As you can see, previously we have 10, 5, 10, 15, 20 in our stack data structure. Then I have popped it out, okay. Then it is 5, 10 and 15. The 20 is gone. As you can see, 20 is gone because we popped it out. Now it is totally gone. Now it's time to remove this 15. So if I just call it 2 times and print it, let's check. So let me print this again. As you can see, I have only 2 elements in our stack. So our pop functionality works perfectly. Let me remove this thing for the inbound case dot pop. Okay, so I have popped out the first I have pushed all those 5 elements, and then I have popped out all the elements. So now let me check if it works properly or not. As you can see, we have empty array. So let me pop one more. Let me check what's going on there. Okay, no items in the stack. So this works perfectly because I have popped all the 4 items, but then I have empty vessels or empty stack. I don't have anything. I have popped out all of the elements. Now I don't have anything, and I have put on this logic as well. If this top is greater than 1, then you can only pop this element. Otherwise, you will have no items in the stack that is printed. Now we have to work with our empty. Okay, so function empty, it doesn't take any parameter. So what it should do, okay, while empty means just completely empty the stack, okay. So while this dot top is greater than -1, it means when you have some information in your stack, because this dot top is greater than -1, it means you have some values, okay. Then on the you can empty this pop, okay, when this logic is true, when this the top is greater than -1. That's why I have implemented the while loop. While this is true, this logic is true, while this top is greater than -1, only then you can continue to pop element until it is finished, okay, until this logic is false. Now you have to decrement, because you are popping some information. You have to decrement this dot top. You have to decrement the top -1. So this is very important. So let me check if it is working or not. Okay, so you have to remove everything. Okay, and here just save this thing and empty this stack dot empty and stack dot print. Let's check. So in the beginning I have all the values. As you can see, I have all the values. Then I call empty, and then I don't have anything. Okay, so it works perfectly. So for empty, you have to use for loop, because first you are removing the 20, then you are removing 15, then you are removing 10, then you are removing 5, until it goes to top is equals to -1. So this is the logic. While the top is equals to 1, while the top is equals to 1, then it will just break this loop. You will get out of this loop, okay, when this logic fails. So very simple. The empty is very easy. Now we need to find the size of this thing. So what is the size of our stack? So to find the size, we can just call size. It doesn't take any parameter, and you can return this dot stack dot length. Okay, this will work just fine. Let me just find it. And console.log stack object dot size. Okay, we just call it and let me check. So our size is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So our total element is 4 in this array or stack data structure. So I have implemented this size to get the size of our stack. I have emptied the stack until the top is greater than -1. You have to keep popping on the element and make sure you just decrement the top minus minus so that you can remove each element one by one until this logic is false. Okay, so this is very important. We have popped the element from the current index from the top because this is the logic of the stack. You have to access the top element, this is the top from the stack, and you need to remove this thing. Finally, we have the most important search functionality. So let me use this thing, which is first we're going to use normal search for JavaScript. You can use this thing. Okay, search takes a parameter called value, which is the value you want. Okay, or you can find some index. Okay, you can find the index because in the array we have value for the index 1, 2, suppose 5, 10, and 15. This 5 is at index 0, 10 is at index 1, 15 at index 2. So you can put this by index or by value, whichever you want. You can implement by your own choice. Okay, so this is very important to understand the logic behind it, how the stack works, and how you can implement this feature properly so that you are really good in JavaScript and in data structure so that you can build a lot of complicated project for yourself. So that is why I'm building this thing, okay, for you guys. So this is very, very important playlist. I hope you will practice every single thing from the scratch and learn and share everything properly. So for searching, what is the main goal? We have to search something inside our stack. So what is the main goal? Suppose const searched data, suppose this dot stack dot find, or as you can see we have two information. You can use index or normal find. Okay, it returns an object. This find method item, and this item is equals to, it will go to the stack data structure. As you can see, stack this array and check if each individual item is equals to the item that we want to have. As you can see, this is the value that we want to search for. Okay, so if it matches with the value, it will return us that information, and you can return searched data, or you can just return this in the same line. You can return this information. So what it does, it will go to the stack array and it will find each item. That item matches with the value that we passed in inside the search functionality. So this is the search by value. If you want to search something by its value, find any item which value matches with this in JavaScript, you can easily do this. I highly suggest you to watch my JavaScript logic building with map, filter, reduce, find, includes for objects and arrays in JavaScript. So this will make you a much better JavaScript developer in the near future as well. And let me find something if it is working or not. And if as you can see, I have used the return. So we have to use, if we want to find something, let me console.log here. We have to use console.log, and we need to call stack object.search, and this search takes a parameter, some information, value. Okay, so what do we want to find? Suppose 20. Okay, let me check. As you can see, 20, this is the value that we have wanted. So as you can see, we got 20. So if I want to search, suppose 5, okay, 5 is inside. After 20, it should go to 15 because it should be seen from the top. So 20 is at the top, 20 is at the top. As you can see, 20 is at the top at the index 3. Then it will go to 15, then 10 and 5, step by step, and it will search which is the value matches with this. As you can see, we have found the value 5. But I normally don't prefer this way. I prefer the more practical way, which is optimized search or better search. Okay, and this also takes a value. For searching in stack, you have to go to the top position. If you find the value is in the top, it should return this top immediately. Okay, so we have to do it until we can only do this when you have some data. So we have to check if while this dot top is greater than -1, it means that you have some data in the stack. Only then you can implement your search functionality. So before that, we have to use let temp variable. I'll let you why it's very important to have a temp, and let found is equals to null. Okay, by default. If you find something, we need to go to this dot stack data structure, and you need to access the top element. If this top element is equals to the value want to find, as you can see this value, if it matches with this value, then it should return. Okay, this dot top. And in case of return, you can also return this. Also, we have one thing, you can use found is equals to this dot top, because you get the element from the top of the stack. As you can see, from the top of the stack you are accessing. If this value in the top of the stack is equals to the value you want in the search, if it matches, if you find the element in the top, as you can see in the find the element, suppose you are searching for 20, you want these 20 values and you find it in the top position. As you can see, we are going to the top, and if this matches with the value that you want to search for, then you assign this found is equals to this the top. It means that you get the value, top value, and it will return 20. Then what you can do, suppose I have popped out 20 and our search element should be 10. We are searching for 10. We just popped out 20 because you cannot directly access 10 in the stack data structure. You cannot directly go to the 10. You have to pop 20, then 15, then 10. So first we need to hold this 20 value that we just popped out inside our temp array. Okay, so temp array. So this we have to add this. So this dot it should be temp dot push. In the temp you have to push this data, this dot stack dot pop. Okay, just call this thing, this dot is dot pop. You have to pop this element and push that into the temp array. Okay, and as usual, this dot top, you have to decrement this. This is very simple. When you pop some element from the stack, you have to decrement the top. Okay, because you have popped some elements. So this is very important. So I have popped 20. In the second stage, I have to go to the 15 because this is done. Now we are going to the 15 and we have to check if this 15 is equals to this. If it is not, then it should stay in the temp array. It should be pushed into the temp array again. Okay, so we are popping the element from the stack. This is the stack data structure, and we are inserting all those things into our this second array or second temporary array. Okay, we are pushing 20, then 15, and then we have to go to 10. Okay, so this is the thing we are doing it here. We are pushing the element that is we have popped out from the top. Okay, so pop means pop some element from the top or the end. So this is the end element. Okay, this is the end element, this is the end element. So this is one by one it is going. First this is the end element, then this is the end element, then this is the end element. So we are popping it out and pushing this information into the temp, and this is the thing that we are pushing. First 20 is popped out and add it, and then 15 is popped out, then add it. Okay, so 15 is done. So we popped it out, and this will happen inside the while loop, because this will be done when the top element is not going to be -1. It means that you have something, you have something in your data structure or your stack data structure. Otherwise you can't do popping. You can't do popping if you don't satisfy this condition. So that's why all the information or all the code should be inside this while loop. Okay, so this is very important, and many people make this mistake. You have to have this inside the while loop. Okay, so this will continue, and then finally when this value is equals to 10, you get your data. So for that you have to loop through again inside this temp data structure, or you have to loop again all these values inside the temp array. okay, temp array, because all the values are inside the temp array now. So here we have to just loop through. So for let I is equal to 0, I less than temp dot length I plus plus. Okay, we're gonna loop through every single values inside the temp. So as you can see, we have all the values inside the temp. We have to loop through and get their index, which matches with 10. So this is the value that we want. If it matches with this, it will return it. Okay, so we have to loop through it. So now we need to go to our temp, and if temp and the value of each values, we have to go to this index, first 20, then 15, then 10. So first we are going to the 20. It will check if it is equals to the value we want. Okay, if the value, and then it will go to 15 and 10 similarly. Because we are doing it inside the for loop, we have to check each time. For 20, 15, 10, each time you have to check if this value that inside this temp and array is equals to the value we want in this search. If it matches with it, we can just assign it to the found variable that we have took here. So in the beginning it should be null. If you find it, you have to call it. Okay, so temp I. Okay, so this is the information inside the temp array. So this is the index that gets us the value, and you can break it. Right, then finally after this for loop, you have to write found. Okay, return this found value. So this is the value that will hold whatever the value we want. Okay, if it matches. Console.log optimized search stack object dot optimized search. Okay, optimized search will take a value. Suppose I want 10. Let me add 10. This is the value that we want to search for. Okay, let me check what. So what is the error? Okay, stack update search. Okay, we need to remove this thing. Just remove this and do this. So we have removed everything. So here, as you can see, I have found the information at the 0, 1. This is the 0 index, this is the 1 index. Let me go and check. We need to suppose search 20. So let me add the value 20. As you can see, it has found the 20 at 0, 1, 2, 3 index. So it will give me the index, this values index, where I have found this. If I just write it like 15, it should found at 0, 1, 2 index. Okay, so it is index 2. So all of the thing is very important to understand how this search functionality is working. And as you can see, I have used 2 arrays, so the time complexity would be really high. First, we are storing it inside the temp and we are just looping with it. So this is our O of n. This is actually for searching, it should be O of n. Okay, and then we have while loop also. So this is complicated, n plus n. Okay, so while loop, this is for the n, and then we have a for loop. So n plus n is equals to 2n. Okay, you can write 2n, or you can say order of n, because 2 is not that significant. Okay, so this is very important. If you have 2 for loop inside one for loop, you have another for loop here. For loop, if you have 2 for loop, 1 for loop and inside another for loop, then it would be order of n square, which is not good. Okay, which is very expensive. You can add multiple for loop one by one here, and it will add like n plus n plus n, like that. Okay, so what we can say, the complexity, time complexity to push is O of 1, and similarly for the pop, it is similarly, you can copy this and paste, same. And for searching, it should be order of n. Okay, because we are searching for all the elements inside this array. First one this, then this, and then this and this. If it has thousands of elements, you have to do this continuously. Okay, so that's why you have to use order of n for searching. and then we have to go to the size, which is very simple, and empty, which is also very simple. You don't need to understand this at all. We have to add one more function, which is peek. So which peek is actually give you the top element, the peek return this dot stack, and you have to like this dot top. Okay, and you have to get the top element. So let me check what we have. For peek we also need to check if this dot top is greater than -1, only then you can return this dot stack top value. It just go to the stack data structure and go to its top element, as you can see, and return this. So this will return as the peek value. Log here you can write stack object dot peek, and it will return you the peek data. So let me check. As you can see, 20 is the peek value. So because this is added in the last, so it should be the peek element. So as you can see, 20 is at the peek element. Okay, this is the very first part where I have taught you the full stack data structure and how you can work with it very perfectly, properly from the theory purpose, and also in the practical way you can implement this using the JavaScript very professionally and very easily with no hassle at all. So I hope you understand a lot of things about stack data structure, how you build it, how you can push some information, how you can pop some information from the stack, and also get the peak values, and you can empty the stack, and you can get the size of the stack, you can get the search some information and which index you want the value to. You can do a lot of steps with the object oriented way. So this is the proper object oriented way how to implement stack data structure inside the JavaScript.